came in.
Oh, whoops.
About Love
We are
Live.
live. We're live now.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome
This is
to
Hamba Maxi,
and this
aka
is
at Maxi Burger.
and this is Percival Fine. Now with a looking a bit different, a bit more three-dimensional compared to
I
usual.
noticed suddenly I go so humanoid.
Yeah. Just a little slight differences. Basically the same. We can act as if there's nothing been changed. But this is
For now.
episode 0.5 of our weekly
No, six.
talking about
Six.
weekly. Oh, I misspoke. 0.6. Or weekly talking
5 was
about
last week.
Shonen Jump. Yeah.
What,
So tell me
have you decided
what issue is
which
this?
word?
Huh?
This is issue number 3 and 4, the double issue.
Oh boy.
For Christmas, because the authors all have the Christmas holidays off, even though Christmas
right,
isn't
it's
celebrated
vacation.
as a holiday in Japan. It's a
Well, it is
vacation.
for Shonen Jump. They all have their little Santa hats on. It's
I
Christmas.
recently found out that apparently the night in Christmas Eve, that's specifically for having like romantic things going on in the bedroom. And
The one night in the year for that.
yes, the one night, because apparently a lot of kids are being born in September, specifically because everybody has
The Christmas
romantic nights on Christmas
Christmas
Eve.
romance.
And this somehow turned into people keeping track of who's streaming in this specific time frame or not, because if they stream,
Oh, if
that
they're not
means
streaming, then they probably
that
have
means they're
somebody.
pure. And
Yeah. I
so if
see.
we're not streaming
You can assume
this
something's
week,
happening.
yes, something's happening. Please do, because
Use your imaginations, but don't feel like you have to draw anything.
no, you have to. It's mandatory. If you hear this right now, you're forced by law to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I checked
Anyway.
I checked if we can get an affiliate link for Amazon, and apparently they changed the system from last time.
No.
I looked at it, and it's really difficult to
Aww.
first of all get the link, and also to link specifically to just buying Jump.
Oh, specific things. It's harder. Well,
yeah, I couldn't figure out how to do it, or to how to look it up to do it with Jump. So let's put a pin in it for the time being, and not talk about it all of the time as I usually do.
Yeah. Instead, talk about asking people to draw what's going on your Christmas vacation.
I can still ask them to sign up for my OnlyFans.
Probably not as lucrative as an Amazon link, but it's something.
Actually, you know what? I think that one's like way, like, that's going to make me rich way more than
Good one.
Amazon.
So, what was the first, or did you have anything to say about this chapter?
First of all, I had a lot to
very standard
to talk about
stuff.
the cover of the magazine. Do you have it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's one of those, like, on special occasions, usually the double issues where the authors get a vacation. Everybody gets to draw their main character, or sometimes their heroine, depending on what kind of vacation it is. So for Valentine's Day, usually everybody gets to draw their female main character, but sometimes it doubles because the main character is already female.
Right.
And you can usually gauge which series is like the top, what's it called? The main drawing horse of the card.
Mm-hmm. the
Uh,
Rudolph guiding the
that's
sleigh.
not what I was going to say, but it fits, so I'm letting it slide. Back in the day, it used to be One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach.
Right.
And now it's One Piece, Green Naruto, and the other Bleach.
Yeah.
As
You're
you can
right. It
see,
is. Yeah, there they are. Green Naruto and not
incidentally.
Bleach.
But somehow, I mean, if you look at this lineup, doesn't it make you feel like, I miss the old days?
A little bit.
Like when you had Eye Shield 21 and Death Note and Naruto and Bleach were in there, of course. There were so many good things back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the 90s.
I did note that I'm just glad Shugomaru is so small in the background. Keep him away
Oh
from the
yeah, there
focus.
he is.
There he is in the background. Very tiny.
Actually,
Stay back there.
maybe we can gauge which series is getting cancelled next just by how small it is.
Yeah.
So
well,
Shugomaru
but also we always
is
talk about how Ayashimon is getting better and better, and it's pretty small too. So it's more like they're the newer ones. They just haven't built enough of a fandom yet. I mean,
yeah,
Nico's
but
back
like
here
compared to
too. Like which
Shugomaru,
much? Yeah. Yeah, Shugomaru is like extra tiny.
so I'm not worried about Ayashimon, especially not with
No.
this issue. This issue is like, chef's kiss.
Yes. But we'll get into that later. Did you have any more comments about this cover?
Do you see the thing that's above, on top of Senku's hat on his Rudolph thing?
Uh-huh. What is
It
it?
says 2022, our victory.
Mm-hmm. Does that mean
Don't you
that
think that
they're going
means?
to finish Dr. Stone in 2022?
Yeah. Don't you think that's the meaning of it?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem like it's coming to a climax.
I'm glad that it is because I don't know where they would go after this.
I know. I feel like for a series like that to be really, really long running, they would have had to do what we talked about before, where they turn every one of the stops that they made in their world journey into an entire arc.
But that might have been good,
It
actually.
might have been good. I would have liked it, but they didn't do that. So now they're here, and it's like, yeah, I just don't think that there's going to be that much more they can do with this story without it being really weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we
The
go.
worst thing that could happen. Let's talk about that later.
Oh, you have
When Dr. Stone
damage.
is on. If enough people subscribe to my OnlyFans, then I can
We'll fix
afford
it.
a better computer, and then the stream is going to be like so good.
Uh-huh.
You can
That's
see
how
every
it'll be
pore
fixed.
of my. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to say that the cover is more like what you'd expect, but it's still not that stylish.
Mm-hmm.
Not the stylishness that I was told Jujutsu
That you were
Kaisen
hoping
was
for.
delivering.
Yeah.
So there's this chapter is all about Fushiguro getting helped by some weirdo who just appears, and I have him written down as an early Bleach side character.
He's like a joke character.
Yeah, he's some kind of joke character, even though he's apparently pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
But then he does shit like doing a kancho on the henchmen.
Uh-huh.
You know what a kancho is?
Only the strong do kancho. Yeah, it's what Kakashi does to Naruto when he's training
Yeah,
him. Because I
yeah,
guess
the ultimate technique.
having a
That's
having
a
your butt
thing.
pierced makes. Yeah, I remember reading a blog by I forget the dude's name, but he's
The
a
black dude?
black American guy, yeah,
Yes!
who is working in Japan, and he did some
He was
teaching
always
job.
talking about. Yeah, he was always
Yeah, and
talking
he's
about Gaijin Smash.
yeah, and about like and he talked about kids like coming up to him and conchoing him, and he was like, "How do I stop this?" So he did the Kakashi thing and yelled 1,000 years of pain while crouching behind one of the kids the Concho him, and it scared them all off. They stopped it. I'm like, yeah,
Are
that'll
you
do
allowed
it.
to do that? I mean, if it worked,
Yeah, it worked. I don't know
should
if he
do.
actually went through with it because I don't know. Maybe the rules are different if an adult does it to a kid rather than if a kid is doing it to an adult. But he
If
said
children bother you,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
attack their. No, don't.
Yeah, we don't want that.
We don't want to say that. We
But yeah,
just think it.
this guy is a concho machine himself.
Apparently, he specifically says that he's a comedian and talks about everything in this performer style. Like, hey, why aren't you guys laughing at my super funny joke? And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm getting into it because this is his outfit is also leaving him like half naked, and on one page he crouches and it puts some kind of sensor thing on it. So I'm supposed to
Oh no.
assume that one of his
Implied
balls
nudity.
is peeking out.
No.
I'm not really sure about that, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. He just
That's
looks
why
like a joke character.
I'm giving this chapter 62 points. I said last week
Okay.
I wouldn't give Jujutsu Kaisen points because I am not caught up, but I'll just do it anyway.
All right.
Let's move on to One Piece.
One Piece. So this the cover has the
It's been years.
yeah.
Do you know how long it is since we got one of those cover arcs?
I don't know, long time.
Very long time. I didn't
Yeah, 'cause
actually check,
I missed
but
I missed them. I was like,
it's
is this gonna
definitely
be an actual
ages.
mini cover arc again?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Germas
Yeah.
showing us what they were up to
Oh,
since
that's
last time.
well, that's fun. And we got
Not really looking forward to it, but I guess.
hey, it's a good return to the old ways. Return to tradition.
Yeah. Return to Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey D. Luffy.
Exactly.
Next up, Sanji was beating Queen. Like last chapter was the
GG.
definitive defeat, but what I wanted to highlight is how cute this mouse is.
Mm-hmm.
And even the mouse in his flashback where he
It's just as
remembers
cute.
it's the same one.
Yeah. Drawn
The
same.
lore deepens.
No way is it the same one. It just looks like it.
Ah, yeah, it's right. It doesn't
The
have
one in
the
his
whiskers.
yeah, it doesn't have the one in his flashback doesn't have whiskers or eyelashes.
But
Maybe
you
the
can be
inker
sure
forgot
that
to put them in.
that's
if it was
also possible.
if it was the same one, there would have been more of a flashback.
You can be sure that somebody's going to send Oda a question asking,
Yeah,
"Hey,
he's gonna
are
ask,
these
is it the
mice
same one?
related?" And he's
Yeah,
going to say,
he
"Yes,
will.
they are." That's
Yeah,
the
he'll
deep
have an
lore.
answer prepared. He's been waiting ever since the original Sanji introduction arc. He's been waiting for this moment.
Do you know if a mouse actually appeared in that flashback?
I don't remember.
Because I think it didn't.
I remember they talked about like, oh, he'll cook for anybody, and they think he's like wasting food or whatever. But
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say he
know.
didn't, and this is
Yeah,
just an embellishment,
he added it later on.
retconned,
But you never
mouse
know.
retcon.
Maybe we'll go back and it'll be there. It'll say
So
retroactively added.
yeah.
And then we
Next
also
up,
get, just like last week in Hero Academia, we got the face reveal for Hagakure. This week, in One Piece, we got the face reveal for King.
and he's surprisingly handsome.
Yeah, and he's also got the Mike Tyson midlife crisis facial tattoo.
Oh no, I didn't make the connection, but it's true.
There it
Oh
is.
no.
Is he still
You know,
is he still handsome?
it's actually really noteworthy that this is probably the first character where the other characters say he's dark skinned, and Oda actually gives him like
Yeah, he's shaded in the
shade.
in the actual art. You don't have to guess.
I think he's never done that before.
Really? Never ever.
Yeah,
Hmm.
some characters are dark skin coded,
Mm-hmm.
as the kids nowadays say. Some characters
Yeah, I know that because there's I've seen posts where people complain about they thought that such and such character would be colored one way or another, then they get a different coloring in the anime.
yeah. Are you referring to the recent one with Robin?
Not that one specifically, but I remember like seeing it with some other anime.
Apparently, Robin is supposed to be Russian.
Really?
I kind of really like the dark skin tone on
Mm-hmm.
her.
Yeah.
But I mean that it doesn't say that Russians can tan, so
Right.
it could still be canon. The thing is
Cool.
just the thing is just that kids nowadays get like really crazy, and then they go in the different direction, make Deku black, and
Yeah.
that's just ridiculous.
Deku's not
Anyway,
supposed to be black. Not Knuckles. Anyway, so we also saw here that King really doesn't like people to see his face, and he goes as far to kill his own men who saw his
yeah,
face.
yes.
And that's related to
But
his
also,
backstory.
uh, I have the feeling that Oda is going to like bank on the handsomeness of this character.
Yes,
Now that
I'm
he's
sure.
revealed what he looks like, they're going to make a figure out of him in his adult form and then in
Mm-hmm.
his child form. Because when this page popped up on screen, I heard suddenly the sound as if a million fangirls came, and then suddenly, damn it,
More silence.
I can't get. Yeah,
We're finished.
actually, maybe they're not
Does
finished
it
yet.
does it
So,
help that Kaido looks different back then too?
it helps that they have size difference going on.
Do they still have that? Are they still that
Yeah.
different in size? Because Kaido's
Yeah,
gigantic.
Kaido is like
He's
10
huge.
meters tall.
Yeah. Even
Kaido
without
is
his Dragon Man
enormous.
form, he's big.
And I mean,
I see
King
that.
is really big too, but
Yeah, he's not as big as Kaido is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I also said like, oh wow, Zoro got like, it looks like it could be the finishing move because he cut off one of his wings. What do you think?
yeah,
Do you
that's
think that's the
definitely
ending?
the finishing move.
Yeah.
Especially since the chapter is called Zoro versus King. That's
Oh, okay.
usually
The
the
ending
one
then.
where the guy gets killed or at least
Wow.
defeated.
Right.
It's interesting that Oda has moved on to like cut people's limbs off, because that used to be a big no-no.
He's like the opposite of Star Wars video games. In the older
Ah,
games, you could chop off people's heads and hands left and right. The newer ones, Disney said no, no more.
Oda is
Just
going into the
yeah.
different
Oda's
direction.
going the opposite way. He's like, okay,
Back in the
dismemberment
day,
mod on for One Piece.
I remember back in the day when people were always discussing like, "Oh, is Pell dead?" And then he came back, and that kind of established that Oda will never kill anybody
Right,
on
on screen.
screen. Like
Yeah,
if you die, that has to be in a flashback.
yeah.
And then eventually Ace died, and I think that was biggest the biggest turning point where Oda was like, yeah, now
He's
people
like, all
can
right,
die.
now, yeah, now it's on. We're gonna have some wipeouts. People
Of
getting
course,
wiped out.
you could always maybe speculate that in the meantime Oda has watched Game of Thrones and was like, ah, oh, damn it, that's so cool. I wish I had done that before.
No, he's just putting in
Keeping
more
the
depth.
people on their toes.
Yeah. Imagine if
Yeah,
FromSoft
could
got
always be.
Oda to write a story for them instead of GRRM.
Hmm, that game wouldn't be out yet.
No,
I
they're
mean,
both taking very long.
it would be so long. It would take one whole console generation to finish the game.
Yeah.
Just playing it, not making it, playing it.
Have you seen that the meme about Grand Theft Auto and PlayStation?
No.
They're like, the PlayStation 2 had 3 Grand Theft Auto games, and
Yeah.
then Grand Theft Auto 5 has had 3 different PlayStations.
Oh no, that hurts.
Because it originally came out on 3 before the 4 was released.
That hurts, and I
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah, and they still haven't announced the next one. And supposedly, the reason they haven't announced the next one is
It's because the remake was so shitty.
No, is because that was by a different studio. They hired that out to a port studio. Supposedly, the reason that they haven't shown anything for GTA 6 is because they've been spending so much time making DLC for GTA Online, because there's so many people who are just willing to like dump tons of money into microtransactions. So now
I've never even
there's like sequels for big games take longer and longer because first of all they need to get like multiple studios to make the assets, because with new technology they're like, oh, each new console can have so many more items on screen at once. They're like, well, we better hire some people to make assets for it. And the other reason is because like now everything, well, not everything, but everything AAA nowadays like has to be a live service. Yeah, it has to be a live service.
Games as a service.
They end up having like tons and tons and tons of microtransactions. Then the devs are like constantly just working on those and not working on the sequel.
Some games do it well. Some games do it like really exploitative.
Yeah, because it's like I think Destiny, between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, there was like what, 3 years, and then Destiny 2, it's been like double that, and they're like, nah, we're just making DLCs, we're fine. People still pay for stuff in this. No need to make another one. Still looks good.
I kind of don't even know what Destiny is.
Destiny is it's like an MMO Halo. So the original developers of Halo, after I think Halo 3, they're like, we're tired of doing Halo. So they split the company into 2.
And made a game that looks exactly like Halo.
Yeah. So
wow.
Destiny is by Bungie, and then Halo now is made by 343 Industries, which is now a subsidiary of Microsoft. I don't know whether it was so much of we don't want to make Halo anymore just because Destiny is so much like Halo. But I think it was more of we don't want to be a subsidiary of Microsoft, and Microsoft owns the Halo IP.
Okay, that must be the reason.
Yeah. Anyway, so Zoro and King now both got a flashback, and they finished their fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like the chapter?
It was good. To be honest, it's been a couple weeks, so I already forgot how Zoro's sword power-up works. So it's like, oh, he won. How did he win? I guess he won.
I'm gonna say it doesn't even work. It just it just keeps him at a very strong level.
Okay.
But otherwise, you wouldn't even have noticed it.
Yeah. But
it didn't even explain if the haki is getting pulled out of the people in the surrounding, or if he has to feed it himself, or if it's just because last time we saw him fight, he held it and was like, now I know how to do it.
Yeah. Maybe they'll explain it next week.
And did it get explained?
Probably not.
I don't think so. Probably
not. Explain it like
especially
in 5 years. The next time he has a big battle like this.
We're not even getting a new chapter next week.
Oh yeah, you're right. Next chapter.
Wait, what kind of points did you give it?
75.
75?
Yeah.
I actually gave it 88.
Really? That high? Huh?
Yeah. It was one of those old-timey fights that have been missing.
Yeah.
And also, it's been a long time that Oda introduced a character, like a villain, like a henchman maybe, who doesn't look like shit.
So you're
Most
giving
of
it
the
bonus
time-
points just for King being
Yes.
handsome.
Yeah. Most of the time, they look like some weird clown dudes.
Well, yeah,
like,
just look at Queen.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's the worst.
funny. I took away points because I myself forgot how Zoro's sword works, and you gave it bonus points because King is handsome.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, well, manga is a visual medium.
I'm also giving points for the cuteness of the mouse.
Yeah, that was a really cute mouse.
That was a really good mouse.
Yeah.
Sometimes see a mouse and it's like butt ugly. A possum.
Well, especially when the translation
trash
says,
animal.
"Look, he's cooking for rats again." When you think rat,
Yeah.
you think of a bigger, uglier mouse. Well, there's some pet rats that are like nicely groomed.
Technically, it's probably just a mouse because the word for
Nezumi
mouse
is
and
the same.
rat is the same. Yeah.
You're probably right.
And sometimes it's funny to when something is a mouse to just say rat.
Yeah, like
Like
Pikachu.
certain VTubers. Oh, yeah. I was going to mention Hako's Bane.
Bales. She is a rat. Her shirt literally says rat on it.
Is she though?
Yeah.
I think she's mouse, and it's just funny to call her rat.
Her shirt says rat. You can't disagree with that. It's a label.
Damn it.
Have you seen that picture of the kid's phone where all of the contacts on it that you can call are farm animals?
Oh!
It says what VTubers are like when they're calling their
Ah! That kind of rings a bell as a
Yeah.
meme, but I want to see it again. If you have it
Yeah.
on hand, send it to me
I don't have
later
it on
on.
hand, but I'll look for it. Anyway, next up was Academia.
Next up is My Hero Academia. We're continuing with the Aoyama interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did I have to say about this chapter?
So I said of course, last week you were surprised that he didn't just explode suddenly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I mentioned it, but when they brought it up this week, I was like, oh, of course, the reason he didn't get killed immediately is because they're gonna try to turn him into a double agent. But I also thought while reading this, it's like it's kind of unheroic that it's all his friends who are like, you could be a double agent. Because, like, isn't that putting him further in risk?
Technically, yes.
I'm like, I would have accepted it more if it was he himself being like, oh, to make up for it, I'll try to lie to him now.
I mean, he does have to make up for it, so.
I know, but
I don't really see the problem.
It's not his idea. My only problem is it wasn't his idea. It's the other kids are like, hey, why don't you do this?
You fucked up.
Yeah.
Gotta do it. Yeah, I guess that's true. What I was going to highlight is that last chapter, Bakugo had a moment where he was like, "Ah, now I get it," and then in this chapter, Denji gets the same, like, "Oh, and then he gets to say the thing that Deku was was hinting at, that they could use him as a double agent, and it's kind of funny how Horikoshi had to give everybody a small speaking part just to make it feel like the whole class is behind the idea.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
I gotta go help someone with something. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. Checking the next panels. accidentally put the wrong panels in.
Okay, I'm back. What did you say about the wrong panels?
Go
they out
to
of
the
order?
next panel.
Okay.
No, I just put this panel of Jiro in because I really wanted to highlight how good the clavicles look.
Yes.
Nothing else, just
some
nice.
Appreciation. Some clavicle appreciation.
And the next panel I also was highlighting mainly for myself because look at the speed lines on Kirishima's mouth.
Yeah, he's really talking
Like
fast.
only on his mouth, but nothing else on his head. So that's that's like new tech.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever seen this? No. This is amazing.
It's like programming.
Dramatic speaking.
Yeah. Motion blur specific to a single body part that's moving.
I like that. That's all I wanted to say about that, because he's also just getting another speaking part because everybody has to say something. Although not everybody. Just the popular characters, as we found out not last week. The week before last week. Only guys in the top 20s get to say something. Everybody else, shut the fuck up.
That's what the popularity ranking determines. Who can speak?
Who gets to say something in the group scenes? Then next up, Aizawa says, "I have a plan."
Right.
Like how they're going to deceive.
that the family can't hear about.
Yeah, and sadly, we also don't get to hear it, and that's pissing me off.
Yeah.
Because this opens up the possibilities for some major ass pulls.
Right.
You can just bullshit
the plan all along.
Yeah. I think it's more interesting to say this is the plan, this is how we're going to do it. Then they start doing it and think like, oh, this is working, and then the bad guy was like, nah.
Yeah.
Or something really unexpected happens. Like in Hunter x Hunter.
In stuff in general when there's some plan or knowledge that the main characters have that the viewer does not have, because usually you expect it to be like we are seeing what's happening like via the protagonist.
Yeah,
it's like strange when it's like they know something that we don't know. Should be that we get to see what they see. Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't want it.
Exactly.
Next, everybody gets to say except Hagakure doesn't get a panel.
Oh, you just don't see her. She's in the middle, behind the
she's in the middle. And look how angry Froppy is.
Yeah, that's
you rarely see her you rarely see all of them like this angry, but Froppy being angry, like, that's a treat.
It's a special occasion.
Yeah. Then finally the big joke at the end.
Yeah, I was like, it's good to see this character again. Haven't seen her for a long time. And but
it's always kind of oddly coming on to Deku for no reason.
And I was like,
and he doesn't like it.
Yeah, the face he's doing, it almost seems like I've seen a character doing this before, but I don't remember. He's so mad about being put in this fan service position.
Damn! Look where she's reaching in the top panel.
I know. His belt.
Damn.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Belt. Yeah. He's not happy. He's like, I'm being sexually harassed right here.
No, don't say it.
It's gonna get her canceled.
Damn it. No, she's a girl. She's fine. It doesn't count. Yeah. I gave this chapter 65 points.
Oh, exactly the same here, because
wow!
I didn't like that we didn't hear Aizawa's plan. But welcome back to the Tech Girl. and her amazing tech.
Which tech? Boop tech.
Fan service tech.
Ah, yes.
Next,
Anyways, next up is Blue Box, but you didn't read again.
I did not, but
I'm going to tell you what's
gave
happened.
us the clavicle appreciation, we also get the nape of the neck appreciation.
Yeah, if you're into it, I was going to say that this is stupid. Because let's give you the summary of what happened. So Taiki and this girl, the aerobics girl, are on the festival together. And they're both very awkward about the situation because he realizes that it's kind of weird that he's with her together, and she knows that she can't go like all the way because she's in the friend zone. And they sit down for the fireworks, and in the middle of it, she gets harassed by a mosquito.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he gets to peek at her nape and apply some mosquito.
And he's getting way too excited for it than he should.
Mosquito thing. And actually, he's not that excited, but
he just thinks he's cute.
He says she's cute, and then he makes a conscious note of her being very happy about being called cute.
Oh, okay.
And
we've talked about it before. Not good.
Yeah.
When you know that you're too cute.
All right, that's true. But then they have a break at the fireworks, and he says he's going to the toilet, and that's when he meets Chinatsu, who's also there. And she's helping a lost child, and when she's trying to console the child, she notices that Taiki's there now. And that's where the drama is going to start now, because now Hina is going to see them together, probably, and she's going to get like the wrong idea, even though it's actually the right idea, because Taiki loves Chinatsu and not Hina. And then she's going to do the thing in Minecraft.
Doo-doo. So drama is about to happen.
Drama is going to go down, and it's going to be really bad. So even though it's kind of like a drama-free chapter where I can kind of relax,
setting up the drama.
It's setting up the drama, and that's why it's getting like 55 points from me.
Oh. You don't like the drama setup?
No, I hate it. What I would have wanted out of the series is him working hard to meet the standards that he expects the girl to have, and her appreciating him putting in the effort, even though he wouldn't actually have to do it. That's pretty much all I really needed out of this series, and instead they're doing the stupid
drama.
Teenage love triangle that I don't like.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sakamoto days.
Who's this guy in the oversized coat?
That's
young
him.
Sakamoto?
Yes, that's him.
Oh, there's a shadow showing the old form.
It's funny that you say young, because look at his profile data. Taro Sakamoto, born November.
He's not actually that old.
He's 29?
What the hell?
Like, I know I'm old, but I thought he would be at least like 40.
I thought he was like 50. Because it looked like his hair it looked like his hair is thinning, you know.
He's fat. He has a mustache.
Yeah, maybe just because he's fat makes him look older.
Yeah, but 29 is like...
I'm shook. This is like when you find out that Sid Highwind is... How old is he? Is he
Oh,
like 29
oh
or
yeah,
something?
that hurts.
29?
That also
And
hurts.
then everyone over that age is like dying when the rest of the characters are
He's
like, hey, old man.
such a seasoned veteran.
Yeah.
Damn it. Anyways, yeah.
We got the meat tenderizer guy again.
Yeah, the meat tenderizer guy, who sees the old guy, the JAA guy, and something actually like the old guy is always kind of cool because he's acting kind of like a zombie, but he's somehow like always knows what exactly is going on.
Oh.
Even though all of his speech, like you can see, it's always just scribbles and nobody can understand him.
Yeah.
But he's always like popping out at the exact moment when he needs to cut something like really, really big.
Mm-hmm.
So he even manages to block the meat tenderizer hit in a really cool way.
Oh, with just the handle.
Yeah, and then he cuts through like everything.
It's that kind of cut. Should zoom
What's he
out.
cutting?
See if
Everything.
there's the moon behind the building. It gets cut in half.
He cuts even stuff from the bad guy off, and the bad guy is like really unfazed about it, which is also like kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he moves 2 fingers and he's like, whatever.
And he even destroys the stupid meat tenderizer.
I bet you're happy to see that thing gone.
Yeah, I'm this is a big plus for me. But I have kind of like I sense that this might be the final showdown actually, because previously Sakamoto was like, okay, maybe we have to check out the JAA headquarters. And now that things are going down, they just swing in there and like right into the boss room. without them like doing weird stuff at the entrance and trying to figure out how to get in or dealing with some low level minion. They just pop right to the final boss.
Do you think this is the end of like the whole series, or just this arc?
Yeah, it could be. This could be the end of the whole series, because this happened in some other series before that got cancelled.
This panel looks like the end.
Yeah,
Sakamoto gets stabbed and dies. The end.
He definitely takes like serious damage, but I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. And the weirdest thing is next page is they still have the serial killer with them, the one with the sad backstory. That was actually not very sad. And he's doing something heroic. And
is he gonna die?
Yeah, he's going to die, but also like this guy is irredeemable. And they treat him kind of like he's
trying to
now
give him a redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's acting as if he's part of the crew now.
Was he their hostage?
No. Well, kind of, but they just bring him along and he's helping them as if he's like a main character.
That's so weird.
And this is bad. So I'm giving like big points for the katana action in the beginning. But I'm like really side-eyeing this development. And I wouldn't be too sad if the series got cancelled, even though I'm giving it 80 points now.
Wow.
Because the katana stuff was like really good. Anyways.
Anyway.
Next up.
Which watch? This one.
I figured you would.
I had much appreciation for 2 factors of this chapter.
How so?
Well, one is that keep getting the
bikini shots.
Yeah, the bikini shots for Miko. And secondly, it's a battle chapter where the battle part is resolved really quickly.
Yes.
Like, whew,
exactly.
After that, I'm relieved.
because this is what we hate the most about Witch Watch.
Yeah. It's like there's so many other manga where we're like, yeah, get to the battle, let's see what happens. Like One Piece, like, yeah, get to the battle. And then this one, it's like, come on, move on from the battle. Let's see the other things.
I really wonder if everybody else feels the same about this.
I don't know.
Because if they put in like this kind of action, like where Haru cuts the water,
Mm-hmm.
I think kids think that's probably like mega cool.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, it is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But this kind of stuff we've seen it like a million times, and it's cool in relation to the series, but this is not what the series is all about, so it shouldn't actually exist. So maybe it's bad.
No, it's good. It's good because it's short. If they had tried to
Okay.
stretch this out and do like a longer battle, I would have been like, come on, move on with it. But they did it short. It's cool. It's a cool way to show off their powers, and we get another reveal for this guy.
Yeah.
Which is that
I was
he,
actually shocked that he was getting stabbed like this hard.
yeah, I was like, oh shit, he's got to have something to survive this, and he does. And it's that
The when he's sapping the vitality out of Moi,
Mhm.
his dialogue is, I think that's like 100%, like every single word is like sex.
Well, look at him sweating with the huffing and puffing breath.
Sweating and
He
blushing.
does it, yeah. He's a bit too into it.
I like
Boy,
it.
it's just like, what? And that gets revealed that they're vampires. And I don't know if
we should have known that.
Yeah.
We should have figured it out. I was so stupid to not think about it, but it was actually like super obvious.
Yeah, so I did write a note like here. I don't know what the vampire rules are in this universe, but if he's a vampire, does that mean that it's possible that he's actually of legal age and just happens to look younger to give all of the fans a pass? Like, hey,
Oh
it's
no,
okay, guys.
that's possible.
It's all right.
How long have you been 14?
He's been
Wow.
14 for 100 years. It's totally fine. But,
That's why he's
yeah,
always.
I gave this one a 80 because I liked how quick
Ooh.
the fighting was.
I
more
put it a
information.
little below that, but only because everything else got like bigger points,
Mm-hmm.
and also because the water warlock was kind of lame.
He's all
I
right
gave it
as a jobber
75.
that you don't. you just pass by
Yeah,
quickly.
but like you're wasting somebody who has power over like
That's
like
true.
the
Yeah,
most
water
powerful
is a
thing.
cool power.
Water should be like one of the most powerful things you could do, and
it's all over
like
the
wasting
place.
it on this one dude who got knocked out immediately is
Yeah, he
kind
doesn't
of a
have
waste.
doesn't have a cool design. He doesn't
He's
seem
not even
that
blind.
interesting. Yeah. But maybe he'll come back and become cooler in the future.
Ah,
The
I
next we
wonder
have
about
Dr.
that.
Stone. And they got a cool
Dr. Stone.
colored cover.
Surprisingly,
Yeah,
we get so many color pages this week
I know.
somehow.
And then we
Chapter
have-
is titled 0, so
Mhm.
watch out. You can almost like not read this as a title.
it's a warning.
So this is actually one of the chapters that I really enjoy because it shows everybody doing their thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's personalities are on display and how they react to the new invention stuff they have.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, it's not really a new invention; it's just the culmination of all their efforts.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I was going to highlight is that this is the umpteenth Xeno Stanley shipping moment.
Yes.
And the next thing I was going to say is how
I was gonna say,
absolutely
like,
lame
once-
it looks like.
Oh, the
When-
yeah. I also noted the actual spacesuits look so lame compared to what they
No,
were showing
yeah,
before.
the tiny T-Rex arms.
I know.
With JuJutsu being normally proportioned, and Stanley has to do like.
Yeah, the weird one. I think
It looks so
it's
stupid.
kind of weird because, like, I'm thinking it does look like real life primitive spacesuits,
Yeah,
but I thought that those looked like that because of a lack of knowledge of how to make stuff, rather than a lack of materials. Because I would think that in their setting, then their restrictions would be based on how much of each material they're able to make. But then they made like this really, really old school looking design. Although maybe they also did it to be more armored.
that's what I thought,
That's
because
probably
they
that.
also have to be safe from the outside and from the inside. I'm guessing that this thing is the inside is like is cushioned a
Yeah.
lot, because they have to be petrified inside, and the stone shouldn't break while
Right.
they're starting. So I'm gonna guess that it has to be this bulky but also solid, because it has so much cushioning inside.
You're probably right. Oh yeah, another thing I thought about the cigarettes is, I think I mentioned last week, like, oh, what if that little face caress between Stanley and Zeno was also like a secret message, like a signal. It's like, oh, maybe the cigarettes are too, but it's like, it keeps happening. It's just that these two are a couple now.
The secret signals that I want
Yeah.
to.
It's,
He's
yeah,
not even when he
giving
hands him
secret
the
signal of,
tobacco.
I have something for you to put in your mouth.
Yeah, when he's handing him the tobacco, he's not even looking at him. He's being like 500%
shy.
Sun.
Yeah, very thin. And he even put his little logo on it to always remember who it's from.
I finally just wanted to note how it kind of ties everything neatly together, where he says, I had to count up for thousands of years, and now that we're this close to victory, I'm counting down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a little reversal. I wrote that I actually forgot about that, because I don't think they mentioned it when everyone was petrified and Suika was having to remake the depetrification fluid. I don't think they mentioned that, even though they made such a big deal out of it in earlier arcs. Because not just Senku, but also Stanley and Zeno said that they too, and their team, because their team was like all elite, then they were also the kind of people who were able to wake themselves up, because they were able to count the years.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and people who weren't able to do that then like can't wake themselves up because they're like asleep or whatever, in suspended animation. But if you can stay awake, you can eventually just break out of it.
But I thought, didn't Senku break out because he was also lying in that cave where the stuff dropped on him?
Yeah, maybe.
Wasn't that the reason?
Is it a coincidence? No, or was it Taiju that was like coincidentally woken up like that? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Go back and reread chapter 1 someday.
I think they didn't explicitly say how that works.
Yeah.
Because they'd have to make a big deal out of how the petrification gets broken if you consume this many calories with your brain power, maybe? Like, that's how I imagine it would get explained, and they didn't.
Yeah, they never.
If they did, I would remember that.
I just remember that they did like specifically talk about how like strong-willed people are able to stay awake throughout the whole petrification.
That's true. How many points did you give this chapter?
75.
Ooh!
I like where it's going.
I was at 81.
These are so lame looking.
That's true. Maybe I should have.
But I liked how everybody was like celebrating and coming back together.
Yeah, that's nice. There's a lot of nice touches. I didn't even consider what you said about like, counting down now towards the launch is like a nice mirror of counting up from being petrified originally.
But that's the main thing of the
It's, yeah,
chapter.
it's really good. I didn't think about it.
All right. Next up is Ayashimon.
Yeah, speaking of very good, starting out with a very good panel.
Yes. Yeah, I had to highlight this one just because to like remind everybody that Hashihime is always no bra.
Mm-hmm.
And something's like very close to flopping out.
Yeah. Her power, of course.
Nice. So this chapter was, in my opinion, like amazing.
Yeah, good.
The main villain gets introduced, and he has a lot of monologue, and
Lots of talking.
he introduces like his own main theme, and that's fear, and that puts like another like that puts another thing into the manga, because we already had the theme that money equals power in a very literal sense, and that also that the yokai society, their way of life is so different from humans because they are immortal and they value only like entertainment and excitement. And now he introduces this theme of fear, like that's like this is his art form, but also how he extends his power.
Yeah, and I thought that's like it's a good way to control the other Ayashimon under him.
Yeah,
like when it shows his weird art. That's all
exactly,
made
because
with the bodies of other Ayashimon. It's like, that is a really good way to keep them in line, because
they call
don't fear
out
death, but they don't like being trapped like that.
Well, they're not just trapped; they're like in a
constant,
unending, in a perpetual state of torment. Yeah, this is basically hell. You often have stuff like, for instance, cars, or the guy in Naruto. What's his name? He something with H. The guy who's also immortal. The one who kills Shikamaru sensei, and Shikamaru then says, okay, I'm just going to bury you in this hole, and my clan will make it a rule to always watch over you being buried, just so you get to suffer more. And those kind of moments sometimes happen in Jump, and it always stays with you, because lots of times...
It's so brutal.
Yeah, it's so brutal, because rarely do you get a character who's immortal, and if that character does something like really bad, you have to think of something that like really gets him.
Yeah.
And in Cars' case, he just gets eternal boredom until his mind just stops working.
He's not as strong-willed as Senku.
Although, if in case you've read the novels, I think Cars makes it eventually to Mars. And something happens over there, but I don't know for sure.
We'll read
something stupid. The novels are stupid.
Yeah.
But in this case of Ayashimon, where everybody is immortal, you have to like really think of something that would be a very bad consequence for people like that. And he's showing that like in such a brutal way. Like you can see everybody who's this on display here in this on this page, like the Oni woman who's flayed, she constantly breathes and salivates, and the woman in the women in the pot are also in constant pain, and the person inside the statue is constantly bleeding from his eyes.
something must be inside the statue, piercing him or crushing him. Like,
Like an
this
Iron
is
Maiden.
this is
It's very brutal.
this is so brutal, and this guy is doing it casually.
You just see the
He's
feet
doing
sticking
it.
out.
He's doing it as a flex, just to
Yep,
say,
just to show off.
I'm just going.
Check out
I'm going to
what my
fuck
hobby
you
is.
up. Yeah. Yeah. Just to intimidate Hashihime, that was like extremely powerful. I was really impressed by this.
He's a bad guy.
Then next up, I also liked how in the previous one we got the roll call of all the major players in the manga. But now that we know that the government is also part of this thing, of this power balance in Kabukicho, it kind of makes it more complete that he's putting them into one of the quadrants. Quadrants?
Yep.
Quadrants. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I give this 90 points.
Wow, very high. Yeah, it is a very good chapter.
Because it introduces stuff that we've been wondering about, like if you can't die, like if all the bad guys are immortal, how is it bad to kill them? And he does that in like
he shows exactly
the most impressive way.
Yeah, I wrote down like this is one of those chapters where the main characters do not appear, but it's fine actually.
Yeah,
because you got like a lot of world building in it. And it's like for once you're getting to see the big bads talking instead of just like previously we would get just the the introductory page that would show the group, but then all the interactions with villains are like the lower level thugs that they can beat in one chapter.
And the lower levels are also like kind of like really expendable. You'd expect some of them to have more impact, but since Maru just
literally chump change.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good. Oh, that's good. Oh, but also something that I wasn't so sure about if I like it is that the boss Stoppo is somehow he's acting really inexperienced and not sure about his own
because he's the new
about
boss.
his own power. Because he's a new boss, but he's not too full of himself. He's still questioning if his methods are efficient enough to like put fear into everybody and to control everybody.
Isn't that like the most dangerous though? Is when there's someone who's who's very capable but not entirely feeling secure. So it's like they could do anything.
Sure.
They really want to. They have greater hunger for more establishing their power and dominance. While someone who's more established would be like, I got what I want already. I'm not going to go all out for all the time.
I thought it just makes him a little bit more relatable. Because, he's not one of those
torture psycho.
No, I mean, like if the fact that he's painting and saying that he still isn't very accomplished in his craft, and that he's training to make it more fearsome, because some other villains would immediately be like, "Hey, I'm on the top."
You're right. Yeah. I'm the best. Like, I'm the best at everything I do.
I think the one villain that you could compare this to is the one from Demon Slayer, Muzan. Who's like so intimidating and on top of everything that nobody would like think about even questioning or
Did you like him as a main villain?
No,
I didn't either.
I've seen some fan art later on where in his female form that made me like him, but
I thought it was cool that he has like alternate forms they transform to him. That was neat. But like,
I
in
actually
terms of his
like
actual characterization and the way he talks to the other characters. I was like, this guy's kind of boring. He's just,
I guess you're right. The fact
I'm
that
a
he's
big bad, and my goal is to be big and bad.
yeah, I guess you're right that it makes a better villain if he's not 100% sure.
Yeah, because like in that example, then Muzan's whole thing is that he's 100% in control of his own organization with all the other the underlings that he has. Like,
Yeah.
There's
lower
nobody
moons.
that can compete with him. So like his only goal is, I want to kill off the demon slayers, so that I can not have to worry about them anymore. And that's all. Otherwise, he just wants to be big and bad, and he's already got that. Yeah. Well,
I guess you're right.
So you said you gave this a 90?
Yeah.
Very high. I said 80.
Best chapter.
But come to think of it, looking back at this first panel, maybe I need to revise that upwards. It's a very, very good panel.
It's a plus.
Yeah,
it's a plus. I really like the art style.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks a little bit wonky, like when even when Doppo
what I'll say about
is making weird faces.
That, in the art style of this, I wasn't too hot on it at first, but I think it's entirely just due to Maruo's design.
Yes.
The more I read and the more I see other characters, I'm like, oh, this is really good art. I really like it.
Yeah. We should read the previous work of the author.
What was it called?
I think it was Jigokuraku.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look it up.
It's that one was about in the Edo period, they try to find some weird paradise island where you can find a cure-all plant, but everybody who's ever traveled to that island comes back as like some weird Hunter x Hunter New World deformed thing. The premise was really interesting, but I only ever read the first chapter, and I don't know how it
maybe
develops
we
later
can
on.
read more of it next week, since there's no jump next week.
Oh, that's right. Let's do that.
That's how we'll spend our Christmas vacation. If you're not too busy with your special Christmas time activities.
I mean, next Monday isn't Christmas anymore.
No, it's it's not even Boxing Day. Christmas is Saturday, isn't it?
See.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, next we have Doron.
Dororon. I didn't like this too much. It's solid. The art style is in a lot of cases looks like it's really polished, but then in the action scenes that I highlighted, and also in Ginchiyo's face, like she's constantly doing
it's so unexpressive.
Yeah.
She always has the identical facial expression. And then, I'm sure it's on purpose, and they're trying to be like, she holds this look. She's face
It's kind of appealing.
But...
It's appealing, but also doing it constantly is only allowed when you're a froppy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say, like, it more reminds me. I think we mentioned him before for when talking about someone else, but it more reminds me of Gin from Bleach.
Yes, that's right.
He's always got
always
this, like,
making
slight
the same
smile,
face.
but that's an act. He's forcing it.
I think he gets away with it more because he's one of the characters who has his eyes closed, and that when he opens his eyes,
he's not a main character who shows up every chapter.
Oh,
I think if someone's doing it all the time, then you're like, man, their face must be tired. They're always forcing this look.
I think the difference between Ginchiyo and Froppy is that Froppy has like really big expressive eyes, and you can always see what she's like. You don't need her mouth; you can see it.
You don't need
through her eyes.
Little icons on her forehead.
Yeah, but Ginchiyo is always making these like sexy cat eyes, but only that mode is available for her.
Yeah, she turned off face tracking.
Mhm.
Got stuck like that.
I was going to talk like one sentence about the monster.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Yamakujira, which means mountain whale.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about that is that that's the old way people called boar.
Oh,
And
mountain
most,
whale. Interesting.
yeah, because it's like the biggest thing in the mountain, but also interestingly because you get this cliche that Japanese people didn't eat a lot of meat, but that's actually not true.
Mm-hmm.
And one aspect of that is think I read or saw in a documentary that they just called the meat, they called it mountain whale, so that you feel like, oh, it's just
funny.
another type of fish.
That's why. It's all just
Yeah, but that's also why
just
this
linguistic things. That's why it's got flippers. It
Yeah,
swims
exactly.
through the ground. I'm wondering, the eyes, is there like a thing for boars to have eyes like that? Because doesn't, going back to Demon Slayer,
Yeah,
the boar
I
mask,
think
doesn't
that's
it
the
have
thing.
eyes like that too?
I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
I can't really tell. The other aspect that in this design is these weird braid things next to his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a style that you see in very old depictions of like prehistoric Japanese people, or rather,
Okay.
in pre-Heian era
Ancient
Japan, when
hairstyle.
like super ancient, the mystic age, you could say. Like
Yeah.
when you try to depict the age that's
It's like
semi
the age where
legendary.
they built the Guardians to protect Hyrule.
Yeah, that kind of age.
Yeah.
That's when they give characters these kind of knots next to their faces, and they always look kind of stupid. But that's how you know something is from that era.
Yeah. There's a lot of ancient styles that just look dumb to us now, but I'm sure it was
Yeah,
super cool
this
back
one
then.
specifically.
Yeah.
No, I refuse to believe that.
Like
Um.
the blackened teeth thing.
Oh, I hate it.
They thought was so cool. It looks really stupid now.
Oh, one reason they did that was to hide when a tooth goes bad.
Yeah, that part kind of makes sense, but it's still dumb.
Yeah, doesn't look good.
Yeah. So
Like
you highlighted
imagine.
these mosquitoes pissing off Doro.
No, the one before. I was still going
Oh,
to
the
say
action.
that the action scene looks actually really bad. You can barely tell what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The jump Dora does with Ginchio in his hands looks stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the surrounding stuff that's going on, like the effects that the boar is doing, is incomprehensible. You know
Right.
something's going on. You
Can't
basically
really tell.
you know just from context, but you wouldn't be able to tell if you were just looking at it.
This page is basically the manga equivalent of shaky cam.
Yes.
They just put lots and lots of lines on it, lots of stuff flying around, and you're like, oh yeah, action is happening. Though it's not super clear about how exactly it's happening. The thing I mentioned about this chapter is that it's I feel like there's a lot of storylines and different things where somebody tests another character by pretending to be weak.
Yeah.
And then seeing how they act. The difference here, though, is that Ginchio sits down and is like, this is a test. I'm weak now. Now you do it. And it's like usually the characters that do that have a little bit more subterfuge and don't just outright say that.
Usually they start off like in Yoda mode.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Yoda. They pretend to not be a badass. What do they call
Since
that?
she already revealed herself as being like,
he knows that she's tough. But so then
it just comes off as annoying.
It comes up as weird, and I feel like instead of like saying I'm gonna pretend to be weak now, like why didn't she just jump out of her way herself and be like, you deal with it as a test.
Indeed. The mosquito thing that I was going to highlight also is something that I didn't like because it implies that Dora and Kusanagi have been living together enough that they had this kind of moment. But it would have been better if we had seen something like this in real time and not just as a one-panel flashback.
Yeah. Oh, I was also gonna say that it is like it hasn't been that long since this has been around, this manga. But I already forget the explanation of how come Dora and Kusanagi are not super strong when they're on their own, but as soon as they work together, they're like really powerful.
Because Dora only has brute strength, but not
he doesn't have
the
any spiritual energy.
And Kusanagi only has spiritual energy and can transform into something that's just a big stick.
Okay.
So it's like type what's it called in Pokemon?
Yeah, you know, like balanced team.
No, like you can't attack ghosts with normal attacks, but it works if it's a different element. And ideally, you'd want the one element that's best against ghost. And Dora has really high stats, but he's the wrong type. So if he got to change his type in the middle of battle, like if he equipped an item,
that's what Kusanagi does.
And that's what Kusanagi is. And Kusanagi actually doesn't have a lot of spiritual energy, but it can transform into the ultimate weapon, which is a stick. So that's why Dora stands a chance. Yeah. Technically, if there was an enchanted sword in this setting, like if the energy didn't have to come from yourself, if there was an enchanted sword like that, he would be able to use that and didn't need a Mononoke companion. But since it's much nicer,
the magic sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
That's why. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really even matter that Kusanagi doesn't have a lot of a lot of spiritual energy.
Just that he has some at all.
Yeah.
He's the right type. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you give this chapter?
60 points.
Really? I gave it 70 because in the end, I talked about how I didn't like Kinshio's test thing. But I did like how she looks at the results, and instead of being like,
I knew it.
Good, she's like, I'm awesome.
You did this, I did this.
Yeah. And next we have the Elusive Samurai with the strategic recap to tell us what's going on.
Oh, we need this. This is necessary. It's funny that usually in the Japanese edition, you also get an extra page that's not in the English version that always gives a recap of what's happening and the historical situation. Or sometimes, like if somebody shows up again, or if they need to explain how
refresh you on who everyone is and what everyone's doing.
Yeah. And this time they did it inside the ongoing manga.
Yeah, that's good.
That's noteworthy, and I appreciate it because the movements of all of the troops is sometimes a little bit hard to understand, especially since a lot of characters look just the same, like very similar. You can only tell like
a bunch of guys
that
with
the
the
one
same
bad guy,
black hat.
Yeah. You always know that that the one bad guy has big eyes and his one henchman has big ears.
Big ears, yeah, recognize them.
But on the good guy side,
with the guy
you
with
have
the dumb
to.
makeup.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, this is like just a recap of things going bad, but somehow the conclusion is everybody comes out as stronger, more determined, more motivated, which I don't really find very satisfying, but I guess you have to stick to the historical facts, I guess.
Was that historical?
I mean, I'm going to assume it is.
They got chased away and were like, we're determined.
I think you wouldn't be able to get that much out of historical texts, but I'm pretty sure that they are reading historical texts,
Oh, yeah, I'm
and
sure they are.
if there was a major battle like this one, they would know if they lost territory or not.
Yeah. But I mean,
So
I
if you go
wouldn't
to the
think that
next,
they would have the historical text would have the guys who were involved being like, we're as
yeah,
determined as
absolutely
ever
not.
after that battle.
Absolutely not. If you go to the next page,
Mm-hmm.
where the one side is really gung ho and the others are like,
The
that's so
herbivores.
intense. Herbivores. Do you remember that was a meme that I think started around like 2007 or something, where men got categorized into
Right.
carnivores and herbivores in common parlance in Japanese.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense if you read it,
Yeah.
but would it have been like way more impactful if they had just written like beta males?
I think
Because that's the implication.
I think we get the point from this one. Mostly
Yeah.
herbivores. But I feel like I don't know. I assume beta male doesn't have as much understanding in Japan, and it probably
Yeah, but
has too
this is a
much. It probably has too
translation.
much baggage here
I would have
among English
laughed. I would
speakers.
have given it like 5 more points.
Yeah. Oh, I will say that is funny. That they have this guy's men being the more shy herbivore types, and classifying them as that when we hear of herbivore men, meaning guys who like don't chase women. But
Yeah.
then
I
the
mean,
one guy
it
we've seen
extends
in
to
this
everything
who is
else.
confirmed bachelor, does not chase women at all, is the toughest Chad of all of them.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Or rather, I guess that's
It's a little bit of a
discrepancy.
it's the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
And then I gave some appreciation for the little rubber ducky they've got in
Oh, I
there.
didn't even notice that one.
Yeah, but
I was
and
just
then
going to highlight
Tokiyuki
how much.
comes in to notice that he doesn't have a lifeguard at this beach.
This is a bathtub.
And everyone is surprised. He's just having fun.
I really liked how much piece of shit your what's his name Yorishige is.
This is your god.
Yeah, this is my kind of god.
Yeah. Then we get him talking. Have long hair is good luck.
Isn't that like really convenient how he doesn't have to change the design of the main character to be
Very
anything else
convenient.
but a very
Yeah.
feminine boy, as you might appreciate him if you were this kind of manga author?
Yeah.
Isn't it convenient how he doesn't have to change it, even though he will grow up and probably become more historically accurate in his depictions?
Yes.
Isn't
But
that
not
like
yet.
really nice how things work out that way?
But it is historical. It's good luck to have long hair. Signifies purity.
I wonder if he's just bullshitting that. Like
It could be.
it could very well be that he's
He's
pulling
just
that out
like,
of his
oh, I
ass
like
just
this
to
look for the
justify.
character. I don't want to give him a different haircut.
He would look really stupid if he got like
Oh, the top knot.
yeah.
That would
I mean,
not be good.
that's the main reason why a lot of those historical things like I can't take them seriously. If a realistic television drama had this, I would be like, oh no.
I know it's such a problem with a lot of old timey settings, and it's why I think that
all of the animes and
for
mangas that have historical settings ditch it completely.
yeah, it's I think that's a big reason for the popularity of fantasy settings.
Yeah.
That are like,
And you don't
they're
have
like,
to.
oh, we're inspired by feudal Japan or ancient China, but no, it's not historical. It's a fantasy. There's magic and stuff. It's not supposed to be in the real place, because you look at like the pictures of people from the real place in that time period, and it's like, why does everyone have such weird hairstyles?
You might be onto something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why so currently on Netflix there's like a bunch of Chinese dramas that are out, and
Oh, no.
most of the ones that I've seen getting popular that are like old-timey settings are fantasy settings. So people can have cooler looking hairstyles.
Of course.
Because you look
Even
at the
China
actual,
knows the secret
actual
tech.
ones, and it's like everyone's just got shaved front part of their hair and then long braid. Everyone's got the same hairstyle. They're like, no,
Yeah,
we gotta change
that would be the
this.
worst.
Make people cooler looking for modern audiences. I'm sure there's some like good historical shows, but I don't see them getting popular on Netflix.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
not with those.
Yeah. And then you highlighted this kid.
Oh, I had on
Oh yeah, comment for
Yorishige.
this. Yeah.
I was going
Yorishige.
to say this is Yorishige Tokiyuki shipping moment number 5,923.
Yeah, just hand him the cigarettes now. Young lord, maybe some cigarettes.
Of course. Oh, you wouldn't like that if Tokiyuki was smoking.
No, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, and then his grandson is like a total piece of shit.
Yeah. I was surprised that he has a grandson. Everyone was surprised. Everyone in the story was surprised, and I was like, "Yeah, I am too."
I had also forgotten that one of the girls in the entourage is his direct daughter.
Oh.
Like, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, me too. Because I think I was thinking more about the one who is the daughter of the really tough guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because, what's her name? I forget her name.
I also forgot. Probably something Momo.
Yeah, because I did think it was fun how she is like taking inspiration from some ancient, even for their day, some ancient warrior woman who was
Sekiro.
so powerful enough that she could pull the heads off her enemies. So when she's fighting the guy, she knocks him out and she's like, "Let me try to pull off his head." Tokiyuki's like, "No."
I like powerful girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lick the abs.
Yeah.
What would you give this one?
59, just 1 point less than Dororon.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I would go with 70. I always like when you get someone telling you that long hair is good luck.
That's such a subjective way of measuring it. You have to be objective with your with your long man reviews.
So, hey, being entertained is subjective. I'll be the subjective side of the review here. And next, you said you actually read Shugomaru.
Yeah. I just flipped through it just to make sure, and it was actually a good chapter, but that's mainly because Shugomaru was barely in it.
Oh, so it's like, is it like Roboco?
Kind of, yeah. Like the essence of one of these comedy mangas is that you have to introduce new characters that have like really funny bits.
Mm-hmm.
And since Shugomaru's bit is like complete bullshit, it can only go up if you introduce new characters. Right. So in this chapter, Sanagi, the girl he's protecting, considers joining a club, and he's like, "No, you can't join a club. What if the assassin comes?" Like one of the what was this American TV host woman who always talks about the killer.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I forget her
him.
name. Yeah, he is her. The
He's always
killer.
talking about the
And
killer.
the killer is there when you open your shower door. And the killer is there.
So he is, of course, again paranoid about the killer, and that's why when she's going to a presentation for all the clubs, he's introducing his own club that's only about protecting her. And I gotta give another round of props to the translators, because this garbage manga still gets like really good dialogues in English. She questions how they even approved of such a club. And then he shows how he did it. And so next page, he's going to the president. And the president is like outright, no, that's stupid.
As he should.
And Shugomaru hands him an ultra rare Yu-Gi-Oh card, and the president just puts it into his pocket and was like, just this once.
It's corruption going on in the student council.
Yeah. And that was like really funny, because it's not even the Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's the Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, which I've never heard of. But if it only has 100,
it must be real.
Yeah, it must be extremely rare. That was funny. He in the previous chapter that I flipped through, he also bribed somebody with a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but this time it actually worked. So next page. When Sanagi's like, this club is stupid, nobody was going to sign up for it. 3 like complete ridiculous characters show up.
These are the guys who the student council president from Witch Watch was like, nah, I don't want you.
Yes, and they look extremely stupid and poorly drawn, but in this like very rare case, I'm giving it a go. Because of the third guy. Like, there's a muscle guy who's Kaoru Kinnikuzoku Kyoji, which is like just muscle McMuscles.
Yeah.
And the next one is a sushi chef for no reason other than just just monkey cheese random. And
wall random.
Sushi Jiro order up. And the final one is just named the one who embodies darkness. And That got me.
The one who embodies darkness.
And the whole chapter, I thought, one of these guys is probably the killer. But no, these guys are just these guys are nice. So there's a montage of Sanagi tripping and falling down the stairs, and the muscle guy just holds her up with his finger. And the sushi guy is just randomly serving her sushi when she's hungry. And then one time she's in class and she has to say the answer to a math problem. And then the one who embodies darkness just pops up and says it to her. And then he says, "Don't thank me, all shall be tinged by eternal nightfall." That was funny. That really got me.
Yeah. So now you have some characters in Shugomaru you like.
Yeah, wait till you see the end.
Okay.
I don't know who this is. I skipped over that chapter, but there's apparently another character who's like into Sanagi, but also he's like a major like a big ladies man killer, lady what's it called? Ladies man?
Yeah, ladies man.
Something killer.
Lady killer.
Not the killer. And he just randomly shows up at school with like a hot babe, even though he's a high schooler, I think. Picked her up in Shibuya. That's funny. Anyway, so the plot of the chapter is that Shugomaru now feels like he doesn't have a purpose anymore, and Sanagi feels bad for him, even though he does a few things that like majorly injure her. And she gets mad at him, but since she feels bad for him, she says, "Okay, well, girl number 1, here's a bucket of water. You can pour that out of the window just when I'm walking past it. So that gives Shugomaru
Gives him something to do.
a very safe way to protect me. And then he tries to do that, but the muscle guy steps in front because somehow, mysteriously, the water in the bucket got replaced with needles.
Oh no.
And the muscle guy then blocks all the needles just when Shugomaru was about to deflect them. And it's probably for the better that the muscle guy did it.
Yeah.
But the punchline of this chapter is that just everybody in the club got somehow expelled from school immediately.
Except Shugomaru.
The muscle guy
He's still there.
Was expelled for use of illegal steroids. Sushijiro's illicit poaching operation was exposed, resulting in expulsion. And the one who embodies darkness just transferred to another school.
It's a nice average ending.
There is a trope named for this, and it's something like murder, rape, murder, and jaywalking.
Yeah.
Where they have like two very bad things and then serious things, and you think, oh, the third one must be the worst, and then it's just jaywalking.
I feel like that happens in shows whenever like a character gets caught for something and sent to prison.
Yeah,
you'll be like asking the other people with them, like, "Oh, what are you in for?"
There's lots of
jaywalking.
There's lots of opportunities to make use of that.
Yeah.
But in this case, it got me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm rarely giving Shugomaru 64 points, even though it normally wouldn't deserve them. But that's mainly because Shugomaru had very little panel time.
It's just I think maybe also because your expectations are so low.
Yeah, that might also be true.
The talk show host you were thinking of is Wendy Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the killer.
Halloween's not my favorite thing because I always feel as though that's a free pass for the killer. Don't let the killer get you. Like Halloween, I think it's for ghouls and goblins and for the killer in disguise to choke you out.
How does she not like Halloween?
The ends where the killer can come and just finish off. I don't want to play music in the shower because I want to hear if the killer is coming. Don't you keep a bat from Yankee Stadium in your night table drawer?
Hey, why is Keanu on the page when she's talking about the killer?
They're so convenient. All you have to do clunk one time with the killer.
Can you just play that on stream?
Since birth.
I think so.
No,
I think.
I
Well, I'll link it to you. I won't play the whole thing, but yeah, that's the killer. She talks about it a lot.
Next up, Roboco.
Roboco. This time is
how pleased were you with this chapter?
With this chapter?
Yeah,
I was not very pleased with it.
Same question mark.
This is one of those chapters where I'm like, yeah, I guess it maintains the
wholesomeness
vibe. That's nice, but I didn't really laugh at it. It's a comedy.
Yeah, there were no laughs.
Yeah, so this one was,
The best part was Gorilla's speech
story
in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because it mildly alludes to 2021 being shit.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons. You get to pick one. But also, like,
Some
very
days
interestingly...
were so bad, all we could do was cry.
Yeah. A lot of people will probably resonate with that very well.
Yeah, I think so.
I was almost moved by Gorilla making that observation.
He's such a good guy, that Gorilla.
Yeah. Speaking of good guys, when Ruri gives Bondo the mittens, his friends are basking in how nice it is.
They love it.
But they weren't the only ones at the party. His other two male friends were also there, and they only get this one panel where they say, we're going this way. Even though Moteo should have had, like, at least one page of him like huffing and sniffing on Bondo's hair and trying to give him a present or something.
Missed opportunity to not show that. It would have made it funnier. They were too focused on we gotta do the wholesome thing.
Yeah.
It could also be because someone in the editorial department was like, okay, we already have Hiroshige huffing over Tokiyuki in Elusive Samurai this week. We already have Zeno handing some cigarettes to Stanley this week. So could we have a little bit less of that? So
no, we need more of it. More.
That's the difference between you and the current editorial department.
Yeah, that's why Jump is in trouble.
Yeah, once you're able to push open all the doors, you can get in there and tell them put in more huffing and sweating.
I have to just be like Roboco herself and go to the editorial department and show them what's what.
Yeah. So we get to see.
Clearly, they don't know what's what.
We get to see the gift that he got from Madoka.
Yeah, haramaki. I've been thinking about wearing a haramaki in my design myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But well, in my current casual design, you can't really see it. I could tell you I'm wearing one right now, but
just off
the
screen.
The thing is, I would wear it like in a much more stylish way, and also I would put this is the big trick. Like this is secret tech. You have to listen carefully.
All right.
This is the big trick.
My ears are perked up.
If you put a hot water bottle inside the haramaki, you have like constant warm back, and that's amazing.
Ah, that is quite a clever tech.
And you can walk around the house with it. You can even go outside.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, sometimes, not everybody has it, but some people have heated seats in their cars.
Yes. Yeah, heated seats in cars are really nice.
But what if you're out on foot?
Mm-hmm. Haramaki.
Haramaki, with the hot water bottle.
Never thought about that. Who wears it other than Bondo and Zoro?
Link in Twilight Princess.
Okay, because I'm like, this is such a...
Usually, the haramaki... Yeah, it's an old guy thing. It's either an old guy thing or a trucker thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
but usually since
not truckers anymore, because they're going to get the heated seats now.
That might be true.
Or maybe they'll wear it when they get out. They go to the stop. They put it on for the gas station. Yeah. Bring it back. You'll create the newest elf fashions.
Yeah, I'll show them.
Be like, hey, Link did this back in the day.
The problem is since I have the water bottle in the back, nobody gets to see it, so that part of the design gets completely ignored by everybody, and then I can't propagate the good message about keeping your back warm.
Just tell them about it. Yeah, put it on your design sheet. Just draw the water bottle. This goes there. Yeah. Always
I constantly have to switch the model to the back side just to say, by the way, look, it's still there, it's still hot.
People don't know what you're talking about are going to be like, what are we looking at?
Yeah, everybody who's new gets to enjoy the hot water bottle.
Yeah.
Also gets to see my butt.
The other hot water bottle, if you will.
Yeah. Anyways, this chapter was kind of lukewarm, but for some reason I couldn't hate it. So,
it's just too wholesome to hate.
Yeah, too wholesome to hate.
Yeah, I wrote, I guess it's wholesome, but didn't laugh. No, 50.
So, and how many? 50?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I come to Roboco for the laughs.
That's true. The lowest I went this whole magazine is 55.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So Roboco for me this week gets 70.
Ooh. The wholesomeness goes a long way.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I don't like it, but since this was Christmas, I might have been more in the mood for it.
Yeah. Christmas time is a time for wholesomeness.
Yeah. Not for Santa's ink.
Right. Well,
Finally,
that doesn't even have a
last...
manga. We won't talk about it.
Yeah. The last series we're going to highlight this week is PPPPPP, which also weirdly got a good chapter.
Oh wow! So maybe all of the ones that we're usually down on they're improving themselves.
Yeah, maybe they all got the memo to save their best material for the double issue.
Oh yeah.
Because
Christmas is coming.
Yeah, and also this issue has to last people for like multiple weeks.
Right.
So it has to be extra good. So in this chapter, it's past the audition, and Reijiro gets to hang out with Lucky, and he's having a lot of fun in Japan, which is something that I really like. In the next panel, when they say goodbye at the airport, it's really funny how these cartoon characters are standing in front of a more realistic. But it's a nice moment. This time they actually talk and actually have dialogue on screen and not with the camera showing background as
not
scene
a million
transition.
Panels of photographs of the street.
Since Reijiro won the audition, he's now a changed man. He's completely motivated to. No. That's a new character. He returns to Italy and is like really motivated to become a better pianist, because now he has the motivation to make everybody happy. And that's kind of what matters when you play piano. If you want to make everybody happy, then the vision that he's making everybody see is tailored specifically to everybody.
Right.
And the problem the mistake that Lucky made is that he tailored his vision specifically to only Reijiro. So everybody else who saw the vision of going home with friends was like really weird.
Like, what the hell is this?
Especially the adults, yeah.
Yeah.
So now he gets a new tutor, which is an older student from his school, who, and I quote, threw away her genius in order to protect the music world.
The hell does that mean?
Whatever that means, yeah. It's a mystery.
Is that this?
She's the one with the big bow.
Yeah.
And she's going to the library with Lucky to teach him music analysis. But she also comes out and says his father has a sinister ambition, a terrible ambition for the music world, and that's the big cliffhanger. Oh, a horrible ambition. I'm sorry.
Oh my.
But let's not get ahead of us. Next page is another Otogami sister, and this time, it's one of the siblings who's so spoiled that not even the cruel dad is able to to slap her. And he is going to slap her, and she bites his hand.
Oh no.
I highlighted that. It looks like really funny. And
his
on the
hand
next
looks so
page,
flat.
Yeah, this is just highlighting that the artist is not very good. So yeah, that was kind of funny that he introduced one of the siblings who are basically the bosses of the series.
Right.
And it's kind of funny. And also the cliffhanger that the dad has like evil plans for something. That's also like mildly interesting to me and making me go, maybe.
Yeah, something's happening.
Maybe Shugomaru gets to leave first.
unless
There's
he
no
introduces more
doubt in my mind.
characters.
Yeah, I mean, Sakamoto might still get cancelled, so who knows?
Yeah.
The way things are going right now, it's really ambiguous.
Right.
So I wonder if PPPPPP mysteriously gets some votes that keep it alive, even though I was really harsh on it several chapters ago.
But they're making it
Deservedly so,
interesting,
but yeah,
maybe
it's
they'll
kind of
turn it
interesting
around.
again.
Yeah.
Maybe the author got a lot of feedback, and maybe the bad chapters were like the low point of his life.
Yeah, and maybe it's
Or
gonna bring
maybe
it
he got different editors, or maybe different assistants to help him. Something's changed.
back. Yeah, I wonder
it got
how much
definitely better.
will change just by having a different editor.
A lot.
If they can request a different editor.
The editor is the guy who will tell you that something's shit and that you have to change it. And if you don't listen to the editor, usually you won't make it longer, because editors, I mean, everybody's shitting on them all of the time.
Right.
When you read mangas about writing manga, most of the time the editor is an asshole who does things wrong.
He needs to be an asshole.
He needs to be the assholes that I was talking about are usually incompetent.
Oh, okay.
Like the guy in Bakuman, the one they got in between, who said they need to make a comedy series. That's an example of one of those editors who are really incompetent but still want to push
try to act
their
tough.
ideas. Yeah. There's different manga series where the editor is kind of like that.
Yeah.
I think that's not just a stereotype, but usually when you have an editor in Jump and you have no idea how to do something, the editor should be able to get you out of that.
Right.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this chapter got 69 points from me.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. So that makes it the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th best, in my opinion, this issue. Which is unusually high for PPPPPP, but still not great.
Yeah, but it's an
My
upward
ranking.
trend.
Yeah, my ranking is Ayashimon, One Piece, Dr. Stone, Sakamoto Days, Witch Watch, Roboco, PPP, Hero Academia, Shugomaru, JuJutsu Kaisen, Doron, Dororon, Elusive Samurai, and then Blue Box.
I can go with that.
Ayashimon being this high is
I wanted to show you
the real.
This kid's phone. That's what I saw before that was saying VTubers calling their friends be like...
Thank you for finding it.
They don't have elf on here, though.
It's unusual to have that, so I'm not really I don't feel left out.
Yeah,
it goes without saying.
It's animal people somehow.
I could have been an animal, I think, but nature didn't provide it.
All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say about? Are there any other manga you've been reading this week?
I have been reading what's it called? Tengoku Daimakyo.
How's that?
Have I shown you this? I'm pretty sure I've showed you. That's the one by the author who made what's it called? Machi demo ne sore demo machi wa mawatte iru? The one about the girl in the maid's cafe. It even got an anime, but not a lot of people know about it. So this one is kind of like a mix between Akira and Fallout.
Oh. Well,
and it's surprisingly serious.
Kind of like Fallout.
Yeah, that's true. But this one is like really Fallout because it's set in a post-apocalyptic world that's like just a little bit after the thing that caused everything to collapse, where people are still scrounging for leftover food supplies, but also somewhat converge into new societies inside the ruins of like an airport or an old water facility.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two plots going on at the same time. And one is kind of like Neverland, Promised Neverland. But it's still unclear why there are children in some kind of facility that's keeping them sheltered from the rest of the world. And the other plot is two kids who look exactly like two kids inside that shelter, but they're different people. And they're on the outside, inside the Fallout world, trying to figure out how to survive.
Okay.
And they search for somebody, and they search for clues of a mysterious item, but otherwise it's usually episodic adventures of them finding... also monsters exist.
Of course. Is there
But,
anybody whose job it is to fight them?
No, only these two kids are really effective against the monsters.
All right.
And it's also a mystery why. But it's not like those series that I always complain about where 10 years ago suddenly the monsters attacked and these are the people who fight the monsters. That's not this is not the kind of series like that, but monsters do exist and it is a post-apocalyptic world, but it's different.
Okay. Well,
I would
maybe
strongly
I'll check
recommend it.
sometime,
It's really interesting. It's not funny if you know the previous works of the author, but it does have some comedic moments. But they're usually like serious comedic. Yeah.
What else did the author do?
Oh, それでも街は回っている.
That's the title of this one?
This one is Tengoku Daimakyo.
Okay. I've not heard of either of them.
I'll link you.
Yeah, give me a link. I'll check it out. Yeah, I read a little bit more of Chojin X.
Oh,
I will say I am enjoying that series. It's pretty fun.
It's goofy.
It is goofy. Yeah, like I got to the part where they're fighting the baseball player, and yeah, it's quite goofy. But I like
Tokyo is finally figuring out some of his abilities.
Tokyo learning his powers, and how he works together with the smoke girl. It's neat.
I was a little bit confused by how the smoke girl acquired her powers. But
I didn't catch it either.
It's kind of like in One Piece, you get introduced to devil fruits, but then somehow somebody also gets a devil fruit power through a completely different means, and that kind of throws your expectations out.
I think it's not as much as weird as that, because they introduce in Chojin X that there's the injection that can awaken the Chojin powers in you. But I think they've also said that like some people just have those powers.
Oh yeah,
so
that's true.
It's not like this is the only way to get them. So I assumed that her powers were awoken by the stress of that guy trying to destroy the plane that she was on. The other smoke.
But she got his powers. She has his. This is kind of
somehow she gained them. I don't know.
It kind of feels weird. Normally you would.
She's the rogue of this universe.
Yeah, but normally you would introduce this kind of progression later on. Like once you've established that people can get the power this way, then you introduce a new method that some people have.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more common to have it be like, oh, here's a natural way to get the powers, then later it's like, oh, here's the artificial way to give anyone you want the powers. So this was just kind of like, it seemed like fast tracking it, where the intro, it's like, oh, this girl awakened this kind of powers. And then like immediately after they're like, oh, these guys got the powers like by being injected with stuff.
Yeah, and we
So
still don't know
really
what.
have a power. I don't have a problem with it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's goofy. It's kind of fun. It's going well. I do want to read more of Spy Family. I haven't read any more of that, but I do want to read more of it.
I'm still not caught up, but
Yeah.
I hear it's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's really good, but
Yeah. Everything I've read so far is like pretty funny, and does actually have some heartwarming little moments in it with the family.
nice.
I like it. Although one thing I will say that I kind of have a problem with is that the world building in it could be better because
Oh yeah,
they set up that the dad is a spy, and then the mom's brother is working for the like secret police. Then they're like they're in conflict with each other.
and this is with her also being an assassin.
Yes, but it's like it doesn't. They don't really tell much about these different factions that the main characters work for, and they're like, we're gonna focus on the family hijinks and then push all of that stuff to the background. And I know that in Witch Watch we always complain about how boring the main plot stuff is, but it's like I think you need to have a balance where it's like you do some world building and tell stuff about the main plot, and then also have all of the funny stuff. And I think
The
the
thing
latest
is,
chapter of Witch Watch got a good balance on it. And so far, what I've read of Spy Family just does not have enough world building in my
I
estimation.
think the thing is, if the world building is good enough, then you will appreciate it showing up more than just the funny bits. But if the world building is kind of stupid and doesn't make any sense, like in Witch Watch, it's just tropey elements, I guess.
Right.
Even the world building with, I mean, it's building up on monsters and the most basic bitch fairy tale characters, and that's why it's kind of like it's not interesting as Ayashimon, where they take the concept of yokai and applying that to gangsters.
On it. Kind of cool.
And I think in Ayashimon, it's almost like in Dark Souls, where you take the concept of fire and light and apply that to souls and bodies and matter, where you say, okay, a soul is technically fire, but it's this kind of fire, and this guy has the main part of that fire. Those kind of things are really interesting.
Yeah.
And in Witch Watch, it's just, monsters exist, and sometimes somebody is a monster. And these guys are evil, and sometimes they attack, and that's it.
Yep. Not enough.
But I suppose in Spy X Family, they have this Cold War setting, and the two nations are apparently also depicted as not being one is evil and one is good. It's just that they have they're in conflict, but they have just only historic reasons for it, but not really like ideological reasons where you could say, okay, America is evil or Russia is evil, because the only real bad guys are terrorists.
Yeah, I guess it's like if you are a modern German spying on France, like a historic enemy, but not really in conflict in the modern day.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
But yeah, I still just think that they could flesh it out a little bit more.
Could be better, but as long as it's generally
funny.
okay,
Having fun,
and the funny bits are, I understand. I'm going to read it eventually in its
me too.
entirety. But first of all, we got to take care of Jigokuraku.
Okay.
Just to get a feeling of where the author for Ayashimon might be going and where he's coming from. It's kind of like when you want to read Fireball in order to understand Chainsaw Man.
I haven't read that actually.
Same.
guess I
I
should.
bought the books, but
Okay.
haven't
Oh, you
gotten
actually have
around
the physical
reading it.
copies?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm kind of a elevated fan, you could say. Slightly more superior than other fans.
All right. Well, I better get going soon. So
Yeah,
it's good
it's
talking to you about this week's weekly Shonen Jump.
yeah, it's
And,
just a shame that technical issues
Yeah,
appeared
but
in the beginning.
hopefully, we can
We'll get that
get them
settled with
resolved, and hopefully
enough
soon you can get
subscribers.
a new computer, and then you too can have 3D rigging and move around a little bit
Yes,
more.
licking my all 20 fingers.
Yeah. Well, until then.
Yeah. Oh, and Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas.
See you in 2
It's that
weeks,
time of
or maybe in
year.
1.
Yeah. Later.
Bye.
Bye.